we're gonna get started here. With actually painting. I think we have Facebook back. Hi, Facebook. Glad you could make it. We were having a little bit of difficulties with you there for a second, but we came back. So, real fast, I'm going to catch you up. We're doing a Manet style oil painting tonight. I'm using this oil paint set kit. Hi, Pam. I see you. Hello. This oil paint kit is from Amazon. It's about 20 bucks, and they give you a ton of colors. If you've never worked with oils before, I highly recommend it just because it's super, super pigmented. Oh, we have a question? Yes.
Seal wants to know, is it oil painting that they need?
Seal, you don't have to use oil paints. I'm just using it tonight so that way I can show you some techniques in the future if you want to use it. Don't feel like you're obligated. You can use acrylic just fine. Crayons will do the same thing if you're working at home, or if you want to go a little bit challenging, some watercolor would be a lot of fun to do with this as well. So let me know what you feel like doing. I would love to see some paintings from you guys, so you feel free to always come back and send us some DMs, some direct messages. Love to see it, okay? So I have up here just a rough sketch. Sorry, Instagram, just keep up with us. I have a rough sketch of some still life fruit that I have set up right over here. Super cute, super simple. I might eat the banana when I'm done, because I bought a whole bunch of bananas. I've got my paint brushes. I've got a whole bunch of different ones here. Whoop. So, and I also have palette knife. You can also just use a regular like butter knife or a plastic knife. I would probably recommend more so than a metal butter knife, but this works really well for mixing your paints. I also have a tendency of just literally loading this up with paint and just smashing it on, because I really like the effect that it does. I also have some just regular flat paint brushes, flat head, different sizes. Sound. Alright, so I've got some different flat head brushes here. I've got some larger ones. This is great for when you're trying to get more paint onto the actual board, which that's kind of the point. You're painting, right? You want to put paint on the board. Faster you do it, the better. Oil paints are nice because you don't have to put a lot of paint on, but you do, it does take quite a while to dry, so you get to come back in and keep putting stuff on. So that's really nice. I also have some smaller brushes just for some finer tip things. I don't know how much I'm going to need it, but I have it, so I'm ready. Okay? I also have over here some water to put the brushes in. Technically, you're supposed to use turpentine. I've just always used water. It never seemed to hurt my brushes or the paints or any of that, so I'm just going to keep going with what I know. I also have just paper towels because I get messy. And if you want, they also have these lovely color wheels for mixing out there. These are super cool, super helpful. If you're not familiar with mixing colors or you don't really want to fiddle too much with it, this will help out immensely. All you do, you find your color that you want. Say you want this really pretty color of purple. You're going to take blue and then add a little bit of red. You get that. And you can keep going. Same thing all the way around. It's really helpful. I don't use it too much, but I also spent a lot of time doing this in college, so meh. And of course, the ever-present need of hydration. Have that for yourself too. I'm going to be drinking water tonight. Feel free to switch over yourself to a soda, a beer, wine, whatever you prefer. This is Friday. This is our time. Let's enjoy it, okay? So to get us started, I've got my sketch over here. We definitely want to get some paint on the canvas. I was always taught to do your most prominent colors first. So I've got a black, and I thought probably just going to do a light blue in the background. So to do that, I'm going to come in here to my little paint kit. Excuse me, I'm already talking a whole bunch. And I know it's an actual black on the paper, but for the cloth, I don't actually like using black while I paint though, unless for any particular reason. So we're gonna go with raw umber, and I'm probably gonna mix that with some Prussian blue. And then from my background, we're gonna take some cerulean blue and some titanium white, okay? So those are the background colors just to get us started. Down here, I just have a big white piece of paper, parchment paper. There's nothing fancy to it. And I'm just gonna put some on here to get mixing, okay? Now there's always gonna be a little bit of the oil when you go to get the paint out. That's normal, don't worry about it. I also give you the heads up, you're working with oil paints. Don't get this on your clothes. I'm wearing an apron just for that very reason. Also, apparently today's National Goth Day, so yeah. I didn't know it until like 5-10 minutes ago. This is just my favorite apron to wear, so fun fact. Woohoo, right? Now I'm gonna do a little bit for my background. Ooh, there's some blue, cerulean blue, and titanium white. I always seem to go through more white than any other color, but if that happens, I've got backup, don't worry. Alright. Palette brush. Palette knife. Very important. This is what helps you mix. Literally, all you're going to do, it's so satisfying. You're going to mix and just cut and brush and wiggle, and it makes this beautiful, beautiful, it's not black per se, but it is pretty deep and dark like a black. I don't like actually using black since it's just a void color. It doesn't actually, it's void of color. There is actually no color to black. And we want our fruit and everything to jump out, to stand out from it. So this is actually better than using black for that particular reason. So I'm going to literally just take this, swipe it off, paper towel. Your hands are going to get messy if you're using oil paints. If you're not using oil paints, bless, but I like using oils. Something about it, the whole mixing of paint, just, it's really soothing and relaxing. If you've ever watched videos on YouTube of just mixing oil paints, which if you haven't, I highly recommend because it's really relaxing and a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just super chill and beautiful watching all those colors blend together. Oh, Seal. Happy Gothic, yeah. I know this. I know we're out there. I know we exist. I'm chic goth, my kind of thing. I like modern goth, but I've seen some really great other stuff. All right, time to put paint on the canvas. Okay, I'm gonna go with my blue first, my light blue. Come up in here and just get it wet. Get the paint on the canvas, okay? Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about any of that right now. You want to get paint on here. And I really love the way oil paints, you can see the texture of the paint, of the brush. You can see everything, every intention of the artist in there. You can tell if an artist is pissed, if they're happy, kind of just by their brushworks while they were painting these. Maybe they were feeling more delicate. It just depends. But I always, going to the Art Institute, going to galleries, I love getting up close and personal with the actual paintings. Oh, Marie wants me to repeat the paint colors. Sure, no problem. So for the darker portion down in here, I've got a Prussian blue and a raw umber. So these are very deep colors. One's like super blue, almost navy blue, and then the raw umber is going to be like a really deep brown. And then for the top portion, I'm using titanium white and cerulean blue. Okay? Does that help? This is like definitely like doing some Bob Ross paintings, but live. So I have to kind of go back a little bit and answer people and chat with people. I feel like Bob Ross would be really pleased with how neat we've done this, folks. So like I said, keep coming in. Get paint on your canvas. Truly, that is all you want to do. And I'm running out of that top color, so I'm going to mix some more real fast. Again, titanium white, cerulean blue, and I'm going to cheat and just go ahead and use my brush this time. Get this going a little bit faster. Like I said, typically I don't usually even use brushes. I just use my palette knife for the whole thing, but for this sake, I will work with you guys. Using palette knives can be pretty challenging sometimes, so don't worry about it. It takes a little bit of practice getting used to them. Alright. Getting paint everywhere. Perfect. Sorry, Audrey, we're getting paint on your standing easel. But we've got paint now on the top portion. Woohoo! Good for us. Real quick, I'm going to get this paintbrush wet. Kind of get some excess off of it. Now I'm going to go in for the darker shade. And I think because you'll notice when we put this on here, you can see it is almost black actually on the page or on the canvas itself. But on the paper by itself, it does look just like a dark, deep blue. And that's okay. That's what we wanted anyways. So cover our canvas. Get lots of color on here. Oil is just so gentle to work with. It's challenging, but like on the actual canvas itself, it just flows and it keeps moving when you want it to. I really enjoy using it. And I'm just following the general outline of what I was working with. So I have my banana in here somewhere. Banana will come out. Banana will be visible. You can go over your lines. You're just gonna fill things in anyways. As long as you have your general shapes there, you'll be totally fine when you're working on this. I always love coming back in after I've got some color on there and putting in a little bit more texture just with my brush and just stabbing it a bunch. I don't know. I like the texture. That's always what was my favorite part going to the Art Institute or any of the galleries, is just seeing that. And I do enjoy using acrylic, or using oil more so than acrylic, but that is simply because I can keep coming up here and keep fiddling with that blue color, and it's not dry yet. So it's really nice. I like how forgiving oils can be. Acrylic is also very forgiving. If you don't like something that you painted, you can just paint over it. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time. I've taken so many paintings from past pieces that I'm like, I'm not super fond of this, and repainted them, and yeah, who cares? Doesn't matter. So like I said, just putting in some shapes, putting in my colors. General shapes and colors are good. I like so. Alright, so we've got a little bit more that dark color in here. And I think you'll find when we put the orange in for the oranges, it's gonna pop so much up against this blue. That's why I like doing actual deeper colors instead of doing black. Things pop a lot more so. Just covering up a couple little spots here and there, but I still have some paint needing to go around the canvas. Yes. That happens. Pretty simple to start with, but it's going to get more challenging. So, hi William, hi Letitia, happy to have you here. Lindsay. The shapes are for the actual fruit that we're putting in here. We're doing a still life. Sorry, Cecil. Facebook was being a little bit challenging with us earlier, so kind of had to just plow ahead and catch up where I needed to, right? So yeah, the shapes are going to be the fruit for the still life that I have arranged over here for myself. Hi, Katie. So that's our still life over there. All right. Get a little bit of the paint off of that brush. I'm gonna set these aside for right now. And now it's time to actually put some color other than blues on the brush or on the canvas. So we've got our oranges. So I'm gonna get us started with probably, I'm thinking a yellow orange, this guy, and a yellow ochre would probably be good. We can mix these two together, and if I feel like it, I'll see what that looks like, and I might add either a little bit of burnt sienna or raw sienna to it. We'll just see how this looks first. So I'll go ahead, put down my orange yellow. It's very orange, folks, and it's going to come out even more orange looking up against that dark blue. So I'm going to put that down, and a little bit of the yellow ochre. Let's mix this together, see how this looks. Oh yeah, that looks nice. It's a very satisfying feeling playing with paint. So I've got that. And I've got messy hands already. Sign of an artist. This happens all the time, especially when I'm working with oils. That'll be there for a couple days. Hi, John. All right, so let's go in with this brush here. This is a number 6 brush. Kind of small, medium, right around in there. And I've got 3 oranges total. So I'm going to come in here with an orange, and there's a little bit of an orange back there. So he's a little guy, okay? Just mixing, putting stuff on here. Like I said, don't worry too much right now. A lot of this is going to get faded and mixed and blended. And Monet was very much a fan of letting things blend together. So don't worry too much. So there's one guy. And then I'm going to use a little bit of that blue from earlier, and I'm just going to mix it in right here on the canvas, or on my paper, just to get a darker orange for some low lights. Okay, here's my other orange guy up here. We don't want them to connect, but we want them to be there. He's part of the party. That looks like an orange to me. Starting to look orange-like. Like I said, a lot of this is just placement for right now. We got another orange back in here. So I'm gonna just put him in, like so. Now, you may think some people might think that I'm mispronouncing Manet out there. So there is a difference between Manet and Monet. I am more of a Monet person myself. I enjoy his work. But there is a big difference between the two. In fact, Manet is more into impressionism, of like, here's the actual thing. And Monet was actually a student of Manet. So when you watch them, you can see some similarities between them. And I mean, obviously their names are very similar, but Manet did come first, and Manet did teach Monet how to do the technique. And then eventually Monet took off and kind of did his own thing. Both are valid, both are good. I just really like Manet because I like it how it's a little bit smeared together more so. I like the blending work of it. I really appreciate it. And as Audrey likes to tell me all the time, I am apparently really good at colors and blending things together, so of course that would be the thing that I really enjoy and appreciate. So now we're going to go ahead. There's an apple down here. This is a green apple. So I'm going to take some emerald green and some viridian to create my apple color, okay? I'm just leaving the paints that I have down here on the brush, on my canvas. Helps out later on when you're mixing things. You're like, oh crap, what did I mix? What did I put together? I don't know. So we mix them all together, but we keep things together on the page so that way we can come back to it later if we need. Because the nice part about oils is everything's still wet. So we can keep working. It's a lot of paper towels that get used right now. Usually I would just use a cloth. But we are working with what we have. Woohoo! How about that green, guys? Nice, right? Very lively, very bright. I would take a bite out of that apple. Oh, well, unless it was from the Wicked Queen, the Evil Queen. Then I probably wouldn't. But I think she had a red apple. I don't know. Depends on the story that you watch. So I'm going to come in here and put in my green apple. I'm just putting green in for right now. There are a lot of highlights and lowlights to this, but I'm just trying to get the color on the canvas at first. I have so much white here, and you're not going to get really anywhere until you start covering up the white. You got to see with what you have on the canvas. Lovely. Look how nice that comes out. That green up against the blue. Looks gorgeous. And this is the first time I've actually done oil paints live, so if you like it, let us know. I'll do some more. I just hadn't considered it before. Usually I try to stick to oil or to acrylics or to watercolors because most people have those things more readily available. And I like to make sure that other people can paint along if they want. So we got our lovely apple there. And since I have the green and I'm just trying to get colors down, I'm going to put the green also over in here for some green to my leaves. And just look how nice that pops up against that blue. It almost looks black to the naked eye, but when you put other colors up against it, everything just pops in different ways. It's beautiful. I've been told I have to get better about taking photos, so forgive me for a moment or two while I smile pretty for the camera. There's some leaves. That looks. Make sure I don't get too much paint on my face because I will totally do that. Oops. I put my hair. I've gotten just oil paints all through my hair while I've been working. It's really annoying. And I just washed my hair, so let's try not to do that, right? Let's try. Hi, Susan. Hi, Leah. And John. I think I said hi to John, but hi again. Kind of miss my buddy Cleveland. Where'd he go? Cleveland, if you're out there, come on. Bro, get back in here. We've been talking about doing oils for like 2 weeks. Now I'm doing them and I can't find you. So disappointing. Alright. So now it's time for that banana. Bananas are strange. It's we're going to use a yellow ochre. Some yellow, just to make things pop. Okay? It's getting to look like a war zone in here, guys. We got paint everywhere. I love it. It's my element. Oh, yes. Paint everywhere. This is why it's such a messy hobby. All right. Mixing my yellow ochre and my lemon yellow together. I think I'm probably going to need to go a little bit more yellow. I probably used a little bit too much of the ochre. That happens. It's okay. What do we do? More yellow. Ah, yes. That looks more of a banana-y color. Perfect. All right. Again. Flathead brush. Deepy dip. Here we go. That is a very nice banana color. My banana is a little bruised and there's some green parts, so I'm going to use what I have and I will put that on there. But first we got to get our banana on here. You can see how everything's starting to kind of come together a bit. I know there's a lot of like low lights and highlights, stuff that we need to melt, but you can see the shapes of the fruits. You can see the colors of the fruits. They're becoming more and more pronounced. And that's good. Very good. Just like that. I'm just going through, there's a little bit of parts where I have to melt and blend the colors together with the background. So I'm doing that real softly so that way I don't have to worry about it come later. I really don't like when I have to go through and fix all those little parts of the canvas that you can still see. And the nice part is with oils you can really layer it on there. And they will stay. If you put lots of layers on there, though, you may want to keep an eye on how long it'll take you to dry. It takes quite a long time for oil paints to dry. But I've got my banana, so that means I've got grapes left, and I've got my apple. And this time we're going to do a red apple. So let's do a mixture of beryllium and scarlet. Okay? Put these together. Oof, I really like that scarlet. It's very nice. I might use that later. Hi, Mariana. Anna, Dylan, Susan. Lots of people joining us. Happy to have you. I get to be messy. Apron fun. I'm just mixing my red. It's very, very bright and pungent. Looks great. Ready? So if you have any questions, if you feel like chatting, you can always type in and chat with me. I'm here, listening. I hope everybody's been safe. I know it's starting to look like the sky's lifting out there and the weather's getting warmer. Feels pretty good at the moment. It's kind of nice. I know I've had the windows open to my apartment the last few days. Really been enjoying that. But I want to hear from you guys too, because this is nice. But I do enjoy hearing from you guys, because, I mean, it's been really quiet. I usually have class every Friday, and we do different techniques and different styles of paints. But I do miss hanging out with you guys. So I'm going to do a little bit of a rose color, and I'm going to mix that up next with some violet to put together stuff for my grapes. Okay? Just got used paper towels everywhere, full of paint. Like that. And mix these together. Ooh, hoo, hoo. These are going to be some very nice plump grapes, guys. Very plump, delightful grapes. Right? Very grape. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use a smaller brush this time, simply because the grapes are really kind of tiny. And I'll go in here, and I'm just going to make little circles with my brush. Try to get that little grape feeling going. And let the paint work together. Yes, very nice. Do little grapes and big grapes. All the grapes, okay? Aw, yeah, we miss you too. You've just been so quiet. Just been so quiet. It almost looks like I could just eat one of these grapes right off of here. You guys see that already? Look how grapey those are. Oh, Instagram. Instagram, come back. Instagram, we are paused due to poor connection. Come back, Instagram. We'll see what happens. Hopefully our connection comes back so that way they can hang out with us some more. We'll see. I'll keep making grapes. Keep making grapes. Life goes on, right? Just making little circles, like I said. And it's blending with that blue from on the outside. And it looks so nice. got different shades of grapes. Looks like you could just eat them. So we got our grapes. Looks lovely. Oop, messy brush. Messy brush. Wow. And then I've just got those two little spots down here at the bottom. Those are actually little silver gems or something that we put down, so.
Okay.
I broke a paintbrush. Whoopsie dizzle. But I have little silver gems down here at the bottom. So that means that I probably want to use some of the zinc white in this little packet. And then just a tiny little touch of the acrylic blue, okay? Going for a silver. And in fact, I actually still have some of the acrylic blue on my palette from earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And just take the teeniest little tip. Remember, we can add more paint, but we can't take paint color away. So we're going to go with just the teeniest little tip. And put that into our white. And mix those together. If you got to see us last week, I did a watercolor of Under the Sea. I was your local mermaid, and we did a watercolor of jellyfish, which ended up coming out really well. I really liked it. I usually like a lot of my paintings, I realize that, but like sometimes they still surprise me. So I'm going to take my little bit of white and the acrylic blue. And like I said, I've just got these little silvery bits in here. Little silver balls almost. So I'm just going to mix that. Just something pretty and interesting to look at down here. There's a few of them. Kind of the same technique as with the grapes, just little circles. Like your flat tip brush. How do I get a perfect purple? Mine is too dark, and I did red and blue. Do you want to maybe try a little bit lighter blue? Depends on the purple that you're trying to get. Red and blue, excuse me, sorry. Red and blue work really well to get your purple. I have my color wheel over here. Hold on. So, if you want to do like a violet and you want to get a deep, this purple here, it says to go ahead and add a little bit of black. I wouldn't recommend using black. Like I said, I'm kind of against using flat blacks, but try using a little bit of burnt umber, so like a deep brown. And just the teeniest little bit will go a long way to get that nice deep purple, okay? If you can get an actual violet, great. Oh, Instagram's back. Hi, guys. As you can see, I kept going. It worked pretty good. We got our grapes, our banana. But, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. But, Cecil, try adding a little bit of black to it, or burnt umber would work probably best. Like I said, I'm not into using black to mix colors, but some white. It helped. Nice. Nice. It's kind of hard because I can't see what your purple is in order to tell you what to add to it to get it to the perfect purple. If you'd like, you can set up a Zoom call with us sometime. We can do that, or Facebook, or whatever. We've got a lot of different ways we can do this, but I can help you. This is stuff I like to do. I have a class for this. That's what Friday usually is. This is what we do together, right? So I'm going to keep adding my little silver guys in here. Just little ones. I just like the little bit of pop of color that it gives down in here. And I know it's kind of coming out more blue, but we're going to pretend it's silvery. It's just something to give it some pop. Okay. All right. So we have successfully covered the entire canvas with paint. Congratulations. You did it. You got that far. I missed a spot. Shh. I'm fixing. There. He's fixed. Hate when that happens. Picture time. Alright. So I'm going to take a short break, aka I'm just going to have some water and chat with you. Talking for a long time, you definitely need to hydrate. I've discovered this over the last few courses. It's very necessary. Delish. Alright. So we've got our basic colors on here. And you can see we've got a little bit of the blending of the colors as well. That's what we want. I'm pretty happy with the grapes as is, to be honest. I don't know how much more I'm going to mess with those. But my banana needs some work. It needs a little bit more. Pretty much all the other fruit needs some more love. So we're going to focus on that for right now. Okay? Yes. Very good. Just dispose of those, right? With a flair. By the way, oil painting is technically, oil is flammable, so make sure you clean that up. I've got a camera crew to do this. Marie would like a close-up. Yes, absolutely. Excuse me, absolutely, Marie. Perhaps I can get a close-up. Camera crew is so helpful. It's very wet. I'm pretty used to touching this stuff when it's wet. So, whoop, whoop, whoop. There's our close-up. Looks pretty good. Good start. It'll bug me if not. Get those little bits on the top. Wet paint. Wet oil paints are the best. You can keep moving things around as needed. And thanks, Marie, because I totally needed to do this anyway so that way I could fix that top part. It was going to bug me. I was trying really hard to do it the right way the earlier, but it just wasn't working. So we're going to do it this way. So good job, Marie. Good catch. Good catch. All right. So like this. That is step one, basically. So I'm going to get this bad boy back up here. Try not to get myself too soaked in paint. See? This is what happens. This is what happens. It's part of the gig. Oh boy. We're good. We're good. Clean up my hands a little bit. This is why you try not to touch your face. This is why my hair is up. Alright. So now, it's time to keep going. Time to keep going. I'm going to work on my orange right here a little bit. So, I can see that I've got some yellow in my orange over here, and there's a little bit of red towards the back. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some yellow and come in here and blend them together. My goodness. Gesundheit. Daintiest sneeze I've ever heard on a man.
Try to hold it all.
So I'm gonna mix these in. Let it blend on out. And I'm doing just little splats, like they're little. I'm just pushing the brush up against the canvas. I'm not mixing it too much. Keep going. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the yellow right in the middle. There's a very nice pronounced bit of it right in there on my still life. Oopsies. Paint. Always. Lovely. I'll let that go. And there's a tiny little bit of green as well. Just in the middle here. Let him blend. Yep, like that. Like that. He looks a little funky right now, but that's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna take some red on the back and let it blend together. Just throwing some more orange in. Blue color is very pronounced. It's going to love blend together. Sometimes you just have to let the paint talk to you and tell you what it needs. It's like I have a general idea, but he has to tell me what he needs. Sometimes paints are not very good with using their words either. So I got one orange going there. Looks pretty good. Looks like an orange. I'll come back here. I'm just using a little bit of white. That silvery white that we had. And I'm putting in some highlights. Just on this guy back here. Towards the top. A little bit of highlights up in here. Kind of what you look for when you're working on a still life. You want to see where the highlights and the low lights are. Where is it bright? Where is it dark? Follow that, because that's your guideline. Yeah, so I guess last week I did the under the sea, so that meant that I was a mermaid, and then this week it's goth day, and I went kind of goth. Whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen next week. Tune in, find out. I have no idea, so I can't even hint at it right now. Alright, so I've got a little bit of my orange. I'm going to throw in a little bit of highlight back here for this guy. If you think that it's looking wrong, to be honest, look at it in a camera or look at it 6 feet away, because you're actually probably getting it spot on and it looks right, but we're spending too much time too close to it that you can't really see what you're doing. That's what happens to me a lot, honestly, while I'm painting right now and I'm looking at you guys. I think, oh, this looks pretty good so far. I'm good with this. But when I look at the painting on this way, I'm like, oh boy, honey. Oh, honey. So this is just part of the process. If you don't like it, like I said, just need to give yourself a little bit of distance and you'll probably find you're doing it actually pretty right. Just putting in a little bit of highlight up in here. I haven't done a still life since college probably, so you guys are really putting me on the spot and getting me to expand my boundaries a bit. I'm going to take a little bit of white and just fleck in my grapes. Do you want to take a bite of those? We need some grapes, guys. Alright, so I've got that. And now I'm going to start a little bit on my apple here, which is actually pretty close to the yellow that I've been using, especially with the mix of it. So I'm going to use, the yellow that I've been using. And I'm going to go a little bit light on it. And just kind of mix. This is where my shadow is down here. So we're going to let it be a shadow. Mix that together. And there's the little dip at the top of the apple. I'm just using the same yellows. I'm using what I have on my palette at this point, guys. I'm going to take a little bit of my white. Just highlight up in here. It's about 7:30 or so, 7:40 now, so we're pretty on track for time, considering. Usually I work on a lot bigger canvases, so time constraints I can get really big. Just blending together. Today is also May 29th is Learning About Composting Day. And it's also Pink Flamingo Day. Huh. So that's next Friday? Huh. We might have to do flamingos. Flamboyant flamingos. Huh. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can convince one of my camera crew and use body paints and make him into a flamingo. That would be quite entertaining. We'll see. We'll see. If not, we'll paint a flamingo. We'll do something flamingo-y. That sounds like fun. My camera crew is around me going, not me. Not me. Oh, these poor souls. What they put up with me. Goodness. So I got my apple over in here. I think I'm going to use a little bit more of the yellow just to kind of deepen that spot. It looks nice in person, but it probably needs just a little bit more of the yellow to darken it. And that's okay. I'm okay with working with it. That's the nice part about paints. They're very forgiving. You don't like it? Paint over it. It's bugging you? Paint over it. Usually in my class I tell everybody, I'm like, you know, if you don't like it, that's okay. Just Bob Ross that shit. It's fine. That's what he would do anyways. So there we go. Got a nice apple there. And now we have one more apple on the top. This apple's a little funky, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm not the best at drawing. I'm better at painting. Drawing, you have to like get all of the colors or like shapes and like shading and stuff. I feel like painting's more forgiving because I can just slap paint on it and oh, that didn't do what I wanted to. Let me slap some more paint on it. You just can keep going like that and it's fine. So I'm going to use some of the purple from our grapes and I'm going to make sure I follow along with my actual apple here in person. And to be honest, the lightest part of my apple is right down here at the bottom. So I'm going to use my red and just come over pretty much all of the apple. Use my purple. I love the way the oils, like everything on here is still wet, so I can keep playing with things. I don't have the same problem, I don't get the same effect with acrylics, unfortunately. So I'm gonna just keep blending it out. Like I said, my lightest part of the apple is down here, and that's what it looks like. So yeah, we did that. Very simple. Excuse me. I've been fortunate. I haven't managed to get sick or anything, but unfortunately I do have allergies, and the allergy seasons are, well, they're pretty strong around here in Chicago with all these trees that are full blossoming and blooming and pollinating, and it's pretty nice to look at, but breathing for me is not the most ideal at the moment. So I've got a little bit over here. I'm using some white. Just putting in some spots where my highlights go. So there's some spots over in here. I got a little spot down in here. And I see a reflection over in here. I'm going to put my white in. And I'm going to blend it in together. That's what Manet was about. He loved his blending. He liked putting lots of paint on there, but he liked blending it all together too. How did I add white to the grapes? Literally, I just took a corner of my brush and just dabbed it in white and just little touches here and there at random, however I felt like it. I just kind of played with it. That's a lot of painting, is just play with it. So that's how it came out for me. I think it worked out pretty good. So I've got my oranges, I've got my apples, there's a couple stems and stuff that I'm going to throw in, but I'm going to wait till after I finish my banana and finish the leaves on my grapes over here. Ooh, excuse me. Finish the leaves on my grapes over here first, after I get some of this paint off my hands. This is where we are on this stage. Paint all over. This is what happens. I'll wash my hands when I'm all done, for sure, but in the meantime. Alright, so banana time, huh? Alright. Banana time. It's a mess over here, guys. It's just a mess. I warn you, working with oils, that is frequently what happens. It's just making a mess everywhere. I love it though. Alright, so I got my grapes, got my apples, got my oranges, got a clean brush. I'm going to take a little bit of green because it's actually a little bit greener up in here at the top of my banana. I just got these bananas. Like, they're still pretty ripe, so I'm going to let them be green. There's a nice little curvature to the banana in here. I'm not using really any new paints or anything, guys. I'm just using what I have on my actual canvas, or on my actual palette over here at this point. Just keep using what you have. And I hope this is relaxing for you. Let this be relaxing. And this is your time. It's your board. It's your canvas. It's your time at the end of the week. Maybe you had a long week. Maybe it was short. You know, it's Memorial Day weekend this weekend. Hopefully you get to be out with some friends and family. Even if it's just via Skype or Zoom. I know I'm missing my family this weekend, but it's probably best that we all stay a little safe at the moment. So I'm just putting in some more yellow, working my banana. There's a little spot or two where my banana has been bruised, so I'm going to include that little bruise in here. Gotta embrace the imperfections, right? That's important. bruiser in there. Little bruise over in here. Some browns a little bit down here. That's good. Good banana. Lifelike banana. I appreciate that banana. So much, I'm probably gonna eat it at the end. Snack time. Okay. I'm gonna work a little bit on my leaves down in here. Clean off my brush some. Usually you would have some turpentine to clean your brushes, but I'm just using water. At the end of all of this, I'm going to wash them with some Dawn soap and hot water. It's just kind of what I do at home, so, and I ran out of turpentine, so you make do. You make do. So for my leaves down here, I'm going to take some of that blue background that I still have left over on my palette. I'm going to put some green in there, and I'm going to work together and make a nice dark green, because that's what I want. And it is really nice, because you can see I'm making a total mess out of my canvas, my palette over here. But pretty much all of my main splotches are still wet, so that means that everything here I can keep working with to keep painting. My favorite. Best part about working with oils, in my opinion. Well, also the bright color. Okay, there's many good parts about working with oils. I really like it. Hi, Erin. Hi, Thomas. Happy you could join. So I'm gonna come over here, put my green in there. Get it nice and lively. Looks nice. Putting a little bit of brighter green in the middle just to kind of mix it together. And I'm going to come back in with some more white. And this is the same white that I actually mixed with Cerulean Blue down here. So I'm just reusing it a little bit here and there. Put that in there. Blow the artist's nose. Because the tree pollen is just so rife right now. Goodness. Woo! Okay. So I'm going to do a little recap real fast. So that way people who are tuning in can see, and people who have been painting along with us get a moment or two to kind of catch up. So we're doing an oil painting, Manet style. So I've got some still life fruit over there. This is the palette or setup that we're using tonight. This is oil paint from US Art Supply. We found it on Amazon with 2-day shipping for about 20 bucks. So pretty good. They come in little tubes. That's probably my only complaint, is the tubes are kind of tiny, and seeing how much that I work with oil, this isn't a lot, but for the sake of just like starting out and trying something new, these are actually pretty reasonable, to be honest. So that is our goodies. I've got a ton of brushes that I've been using. You can see down here my palette is a complete mess. When it's all said and done, I'm probably going to fold it in half and smear it up and kind of do a butterfly effect with it, because that's something just out of tradition I really like to do with oils. Because sometimes you come up with some really cool looking things, and other times it looks absolutely terrible. So whatever. It's still fun. I have my lovely set of fake fruit, and there's some real fruit in there as well. And then over here, all I did to get this kind of going was I sketched it out using some graphite. General shapes, nothing too fancy. Sketched it out though. Did a nice blue background. Did a deep blue for the actual black. Instead of using, I don't like using black when I paint. You can use black to darken things, but I don't actually like to use black. It's a color that's void of color. There's not anything to it. It doesn't add anything to it. So I typically like to use instead a raw umber or a burnt umber. Preferably a burnt umber, which I can't find over here right now, but this is close enough for the moment. Using browns and umbers, stuff like that, usually is better simply because it adds depth to your color. Oh, excuse me. It adds depth to your colors, and it doesn't completely control your color. So that's my preference. Feel free to use black if it's what you have, or if you feel like it mixed together a little brown yourself and you can do the whole thing. It looks really good. So we did that with some of the Prussian blue in the background here, and it almost looks like a black, which, great, that's what we wanted anyways. So we have that. We put together our fruit. We've got our oranges, apples. We've got two different kinds of apples, our banana. We've got our grapes down here. The grapes are super great because you're just making little circles with your brush, and it just comes out really nicely. We're going to work a little bit more over here with our little silver crystals because they still need some TLC, some loving. And we're going to work a little bit more on our leaves. But our banana, we've got a good shape for it. We see what it is. It's a little bit bruised, just like in real life. We've got our orange. They're holding everything up over there. I need to add in some of the stems, and I also probably need to add in a little bit of the wrinkles and stuff to the actual background to kind of make things pop out some more. But so far, pretty pleased with this, pretty happy with it. We've got another like half an hour before I have to officially call it quits. So for the meantime, let's keep painting. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm trying to grab my paintbrush. And it's got lots of green in there. Take a brown color and put just the tiniest little bit of a stem right in there. Because to be honest, that stem is like really tiny and not really existing in that world right now. Can barely see it. Okay, so there's that. I'll load my brush, the tip of it up again. Same thing. But this one has a little green in there, so I'm going to add a little bit of green. And I'm going to come over like that. So now our fruit looks like fruit. Our apple looks like an apple. Looks tight. Grab some of the white. I'm just going to do little like X's. Because grape leaves have like that weird little pattern on it that I can see. I'm going to do just like little X's across the top of it, using just the tip with white. Okay. Let the brush do the work. Yeah. How's that? That looks delightful. Looks delightful. Alright. These little guys over here now. These guys have been giving me little bits of issues. Don't know why. I'm just not feeling them. So we're going to try to do something with them. Like I said before, nice thing about oil paints, everything's still wet. So you can mess with stuff, okay? Maybe there's two of these here. Maybe that's why it looks funky. Take a little bit more white. Oh, maybe these are blueberries. Maybe that's what they end up being. See, I told you. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing either. Just keep going. I like the idea of making these blueberries. Just little blueberries. They got lost. They got lost on their way to the market. Yes, that's what those are now. Those are now blueberries, guys. So that means I'm going to take a little bit of my blue. Come in here. Would it be a true artist if you didn't take some artistic license sometimes and, you know, just mess with things? I don't think so. I'll take a little bit, maybe some purple with that. Those looks like some good blueberries. Very nice. I'm going to take some purple and just kind of go around the bottoms of them. Just dab it in. Mix it together. Let the purples blend into it. Nice little blueberries over here. Using some white now on the top of the blueberries, what are now blueberries, because that's what you get to do. Hey, I kept everything else real to the still life. I just wasn't happy with that part. And they look like blueberries to me, so we're going blueberry. Little brush strokes. Very nice. Oh, hi Linda from Ireland. Ireland! My family comes from there, but like really far back family. I'm definitely an American, but like way far back family is from Ireland. So, hi! Hope you're enjoying a pint of something delicious. I would, especially from Ireland. Oh my goodness, it would taste so good there. So good. Just add in some more blues. Manet had a tendency, he liked to use a lot of colors. A lot of colors. I remember the first time I did a Manet reproduction and I was so overwhelmed by all the colors. Hi John, how are you? It ended up being, that reproduction I did was actually pretty good. It's now hanging on my mother's wall in the living room, like front and center for everybody to see. It's so embarrassing when you go home and you're like, oh my goodness, whew, it's pretty, Mom, but I'm shy. And yet here I am on Facebook and Instagram doing this, so I'm still shy, but I can't physically see you guys, so I think that helps. I don't know. I can talk to you. I know you're there, but it's not as challenging, I guess. I don't know. I'm just using a deep cerulean blue, just straight cerulean blue at this point, and adding little tips to my blueberries. Hi, Nikki. Hey, I know her. She's another one of the art instructors here at Art Space. You guys should check out her class too. Hers is really cool. She does paint and sips most weeks. And she's done some really cool ones too. She's done the Scream. She's done Starry Nights. She's done... Oh, I think they're going to do the Clocks one soon. Oh, no, we're doing Son of Man next. So that'll be cool. It's the guy with like the suit and the bowler hat and he's got a big old apple on his face. So, you know, hey, apple. Huh? That was not planned, by the way. I had no idea that she was going to be here or that what painting she was doing for her class. So, but we do have kids classes too. There's a fine arts class, and honestly, a lot of our stuff, we have it set up right now for everything that you can just stop by our studio and we can do a contactless delivery of all of the stuff that you will need for a class. So you can sign up for it. We put together a little go bag. You stop by out front. You come out, put it there. You can grab it, all set. You tune in on Zoom for the day of the class. If you have questions, you can call us, email. We got everything. It's really nice. We were worried how we were going to do this when it all started, and then now it's just like routine. We got it down pat. We got this. So it's really exciting how far we've come along with that. We were super stressed out at first, but now look at us. Pros. Such pros. All right. So my blueberries are now done. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Those are blueberries. They were always supposed to be blueberries. So I got that part in. Now I'll clean that brush off a little bit. super fun, all these paintbrushes, huh? Yeah, turpentine does work better, but for the sake of what we're doing tonight, doing all of this, it works. I'm going to come in at this point, and I've got a couple spots where I can see some highlights to my fabric. So I'm just going to use some white and just dab it. Doesn't have to be exact. Just go along with the fabric. And I'm going to just fade it, brush it out a bit. Don't die back there. I can't have my camera crew dying. It'd be very upsetting. It's tree pollens, guys. Allergy season. It gets to all of us. And this is where you just kind of play with where you see where you want to put things. What stuff needs to be lightened and darkened in your eyes. It's like I can see a little spot through here that needs a little darker. There's a little bit of a fold through there. So it looks like fabric. That's all you want. Something that kind of looks like fabric. I switched it up a little bit and grabbed some purple from my grapes this time. I'm just coming in a little bit here and there in between the folds that I've made. Just like that. Ah. I have a whole bunch of yellow here, so I kind of have an idea. If you bear with me. Camera crew's all relaxed at this point. I think this week's gone a whole lot better for camera stuff. My goodness. Better than last week. But I have a whole bunch of yellow here. And my paint up here is still all wet. So I'm going to put some of this in here. Just blend it. I don't like having just flat colors, really. I like a little bit of depth and dimension to things. So that's what I'm going to do. I said, everything's still pretty wet, so keep playing with stuff to however you like it, as to where you like it. Up in that top spot. And take a bit more white. Hit some spots. Oh, question is, will it be on display in the window at Art Space? Most likely. Most likely. I'm not in charge of that part, but most likely. We have a whole bunch of other stuff that's on display here too, so most likely it'll be on display as well. Once it dries, of course. Oils take a little while to dry. It'll probably be sitting like this for like 2 days or so. But then we'll put it up on display. And if anybody was doing a piece with us while we were working, I'd love it if you guys could send us photos of it too. Let's see what you did. There was a really cute one a couple weeks ago I did that, what was it? What did I do? Oh, I did a Bob Ross one. That wasn't last week, but that was 2 weeks ago. I did a Bob Ross landscape painting, and it was adorable because Mom and her daughter went ahead and they did a little date night, mom and daughter date night, and had crayons and put it all together, and it was so cute. I loved it. They sent us the photos of it. It was adorable. I couldn't stand how cute it was. Paintbrush, go away. There we go. And that, to me, I'm gonna say looks pretty well finished. I'm enjoying this. Got my blueberries, got my grapes. My banana looks pretty good. My apples are happy. My oranges are there. Oranges are not my favorite, but that's okay. They're not the centerpiece of the whole thing, so I'm fine with that. You could keep working on the orange if you wanted to. I'm running short on time for that. I don't particularly care about the oranges. I'm happy with everything else. Who cares, right? So I'm going to grab a tiny paintbrush over here. Tell you guys the same thing I tell all my other students. Sign your work. Okay, it's very important because you never know where you're going to be in your life or what will happen. Maybe your grandkids or family members, somebody ends up having that piece and they want to know where it came from and what year you did it and what mood you were in, like any of that stuff. It's kind of nice to know. So I'm going to load up my brush with a light blue color because I think that'll pop really nicely up against that dark blue. Load it up, and I'm going to come down here in the corner. I'm just going to sign my name. Actually, I might even try doing this with my palette knife. It usually works better for me. Kind of a palette knife girl. I like to put the year. You don't necessarily need to do that, but knowing that I do a painting at least a week, sometimes more than that. It helps for me to know what I worked on that week and like, oh, that was definitely from the year 2000 because I wrote 2000 on it. So it helps me remember things. It's not a requirement. More so than anything, I would just say, make sure you put your initials on it. Make sure you sign it. Do something so we know whose it is. Who knows? Maybe come some year, the great historians will look back in the year 2020 with COVID-19 and wonder what art was created. And you will have your piece of art out there with your name, your initials, and that will be part of your legacy as part of history of COVID-19 2020. So who knows? You never do. So it's always good to just in case, just put your signature there. So that is my finished piece. I would try to get it down for you to get it so you like actually can see it a little bit better, but it's pretty wet. So I'm just gonna, use the camera angle here. So nice little shot. You can see how wet it is. Let Instagram see it too. So it's pretty wet. So I'm not going to touch it for a few days. Just leave it, okay? And I do have about 10 minutes left. So usually in the last like 10 minutes or so, I like to do a short little meditation. So I have on here a little sound bite. And we're going to actually, since we're doing fruit, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go to the farmer's market. Yeah, I know it sounds a little weird, but since we haven't been out there a whole lot, it just seems like kind of nice. I get out there in the public, get in the groups and the crowds, and I always like the spirit of the farmer's market. For now, though, I'm actually going to say goodbye to Instagram because Instagram's going to cut us off here in about a minute. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciated you coming out, joining us, sitting, chilling out with me, having your glass of wine. Hope you have a good Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you perhaps next week, okay? So for Instagram, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and Facebook, we'll do our meditation just here in a sec. Awesome. So we say goodbye to our Instagram peoples, and let's go ahead and get cozy, get settled, find your chair, find your comfy spot. And since I've been painting for the last hour and a half, let's go ahead and stretch it out a little bit first. Oh, get all the kinks. Oh, I'm gonna feel that one tomorrow. Oh, roll your neck, roll your shoulders. And go ahead and you can settle into your chair, into your couch, wherever. And I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes and put your hands, your palms facing up on your thighs, reaching for the heavens. And I want us to just breathe. I'd like you to take a breath in, hold it, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Begin to resume breathing naturally. This is your time. Let all the aches, stresses, let them all just fade away, okay? Each breath in, everything starts to fade away a little bit more. In and out. Embrace the sounds around you. Embrace the city, the voices. They're here, but you're safe. Let it all just wash over you, like a warm blanket. On the next inhale, you start to smell fresh baked bread. And boy, does it smell good. You can taste almost the crust in your mouth. The yeasty flavor. It all just sounds and tastes so good, that crunch. You walk a few more paces along the stalls of the farmer's market. And you can smell, is that chocolate? Wafting through the air. So you follow it. And you come across some chocolate truffles, homemade. They offer you a bite, a sample, and you just cannot resist. So we'll take a bite. Just let that chocolate dissolve in your mouth. Wash over your taste buds. It tastes so good. You can feel the chocolate dripping down the back of your throat. Feel the warmth across your whole body spread. Such a good truffle. But then you happen to smell some flowers. The booth across from you. They have lilacs, and lavender, daffodils, and sunflowers. Just bright, gorgeous, facing you to greet you. You reach your fingers out and run your fingers across the pollen, across the petals. And it's just so good. The soft silkiness of those petals. And walk among the crowds and people. Everybody is being respectful and polite. It's quite calming, finally being amongst everyone. It's really nice. You can hear someone's playing music in the background. There's a stage. So just listen. Follow the families, their small children. Keep breathing. Let yourself sink deeper and deeper. You're safe. In this happy little world, we don't have to worry about illness. And anytime you start to feel stressed, just come back to your breathing. Come back to the silence. It's all okay. It's all okay. Keep breathing in and out. Don't forget, it's your only job right now is just to breathe. But our time is ending. So I'm going to have us come back to our bodies. I'd like you to start wiggling your toes, your fingers, roll your shoulders, roll your neck. Get all those little creaks and cracks out of your body. Whenever you're ready, go ahead, you can open your eyes. And welcome back. Happy to have you. Glad you came. Hope you enjoyed our still life. Hope you enjoyed our little meditation. And I hope to see you next week. Stay safe. We love you all. And good night for tonight.